there's absolutely no reason that we should not all be smiling like Salvador Perez. Not because it's the MLB season and we look out and it's brighter days and the grass is growing and the flowers are blooming. No, not because of that. Because the ABS challenge system is better than what we could have imagined. And I'm going to be honest. I was that single guy that was saying ABS, screw that, because I'm a go hard or a go home type of person. I either want it completely normal like we had, no change, or go all automated balls and strikes like they do in the KBL. Get it perfect. Life is perfect, guys. Go full robot, go full AI, take over all our jobs. Yes, that's me. Anyways, I made a little Google slideshow presentation like we did back in 8th grade or back in high school where you weren't doing any of the work and your teammates were carrying you through the project where you got a B. Yes, that's what I did because I absolutely love the ABS and it has been one of the most exciting things so far in the MLB season. So, but first, before I talk about why and explain and actually go into detail, let's just look at a couple of them together. So we're going to go through, and this, matter of fact, was the very first one of the season that was successful. Okay, but before we talk about it, there was one on opening night on Netflix, and that just gets back to the whole Netflix was really bad on opening night, and they missed pitches, and they missed the first ABS call, and they were doing too much with the interviews. Yes, we get it. But the first one was actually on O'Neal Cruz, and it is so sad because he thought he had ball 4 happening on a 3-2 count. He already had made errors in the outfield, causing Paul Skeens to go 1 inning, and boom, they tapped ahead. And bro, this one's going to be bad. Are you going to show it? Yeah. What I love about this is that they all have it on the ballpark at the same time. Also, another thing is that you can see on the K-Zone on TV if it's a ball or a strike, so you can get a pretty good idea, but the broadcasters don't, and no one in the ballpark gets this, again, because they don't want people cheating. So when the broadcast sees it, when the crowd sees it, it's all at the same time, and these are some of the biggest cheers you get basically this entire season, besides a walk-off grand slam like you get in the Braves game on Saturday night against the Royals. Like, these are the biggest cheers you get in the season. And second of all, why this was cool, this was called by the pitcher Peralta. Peralta actually tapped his head. A lot of the time so far in the early data, we've been seeing catchers doing it, of course, because they have the best view of the zone, and also hitters. And hitters have been failing a lot, as we expected, through the past three couple years. I think 2-3 years that we've been doing it in the minor leagues or the Atlantic League or whatever, through results, and also just early on in the season. But the first one was on O'Neal Cruz. The first successful challenge, it was a ball on a 3-2 count. But even more than that, I love how this could change the game in not only a 3-2 count, but also just a 1-1 count, which we'll get to later. But this is another 2-2. This is the Dodgers' first ever successful challenge. It's Will Smith on his birthday. I think it was his birthday, but wait, we got to go back. Can we go back? Hold up. That was a nasty pitch, first of all. That was a nasty pitch, top of the zone. And yep, he gets it. And who is this on? Is this on Perdomo? I don't know. We're just going to watch this together. I actually did not see this highlight. But yep, everyone sees it at the same time. And you can really see how great these catchers are because a lot of the balls they've been challenging have just been on the hair of the zone, like by a quarter. And it will actually zoom in and tell you how much. It doesn't here because it was on 2 outs, but it'll show you and it will say like 0.1 or 0.01, like a tenth of an inch that it's on the zone. And a lot of catchers have been getting these right and actually looking like geniuses, like Salvador Perez. Once again, we'll get into the stats later. Let's just go to the next one. And this was Randy. Yes, I saw this and how confident he was. Again, hitters have not been swinging at a great average for these calls, but just the fact that he knew, he tapped his head. And this wasn't on the inch line of the zone. And yes, it was off the black a little bit, but just the confidence that he tapped his head and knew he had a walk. Like, these hitters are crazy. It's crazy. I know these guys have been playing the game for years and years and years. They've been playing the game their entire lives, but to have that much, just to know the zone that much is pretty insane. And yes, we're getting a ballpark view at it. And every single time this happens, a team gets a correct challenge at home. The fans are going absolutely crazy. But this is what I love the most, okay? This right here is on a 1-0 count. Now, not every single challenge that we get is going to be on a 3-2 or it's a strikeout or a walk. What I like is that the really good hitters and really good players are going to use it to their advantage in a 1-0 versus 1-1. 2-0, like a 1-1 versus a 2-0 is a massive thing. We've seen it in expected run value. Like, that's one of the biggest things in baseball. That's why framing was so important, because that one pitch could literally change the entire at-bat. That little at-bat in the 6th inning in a tie game 0-0 could change the entire game. So let's just go to it right here. Yep, clearly that was a ball. Aaron Judge taps his head. Now, Aaron Judge, his zone actually shrunk this season by doing exact heights, which is surprising because you think exact height, it's like 53% at the top of the zone versus 27% of your body at the bottom for the knees. But Aaron Judge actually shrunk his zone with the official ABS, which is really cool. Now, this one was lagging. I don't know why it was lagging so much. Was this happening on all the Yankees broadcasts? Can you tell? Oh my gosh. So sometimes this happened. It's the 3-2-1 whole thing. But yes, look how close that is, and look how confident that Judge was to call it, and he got the call. And it goes from a possible 1-1 count to a 2-0 count, which is huge. Judge ended up hitting his first home run of the season right off of that. Now, I'm sorry that I couldn't get you the full video. It didn't happen in that. We have another crazy call coming soon, or another 2 crazy calls with the Reds, but that turned into Judge's first home run that gave him a 2-0 lead. What the heck is up with Aaron Judge? Now, I don't want to take stock into these early season things. He has 2 hits, 2 home runs. I think he has 8 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, 10 strikeouts, golden sombrero in the first game. Super weird, super crazy. But this is what all that everyone wants to talk about, because one thing that I think about ABS is that I feel bad for the umpires who are absolutely horrible, because it is going to weed out the rats 100%. Like the bad umpires, the Angel Hernandezes of the game, the old umpires who were just calling shit, it's going to get really bad. But this is where we saw it in a big case. Bases loaded. Eugenio Suarez, Reds leading by 2, trying to open up their lead. Already, CB Buckner tried to strike him out, and the ball is an inch off down. Eugenio calls it. And once again, batters haven't been doing that well, but when it's this obvious, well, that's a little down and into. And on the very next 2-2, that one's even worse off the corner, bro. He taps it again, showing him up. The crowd is loving this, by the way. And I heard from a person who was at this game that this was the loudest cheer of the game right here before they get the second call in a row. They had home runs during the game. They had all this crazy stuff. But this challenge call, the crowd was going absolutely wild. It brings a whole new excitement to the game. Now, what else I love about the ABS is that baseball, okay, we get it. We get it. Also, the chess match on when are you going to use it? Baseball already has so much strategy. It's the most mental game of all the games that I follow. That's why I love baseball so much. That's why we love baseball so much. And adding another layer of strategy and another layer of the chess match to the game. When should we use the challenges? Who should we have using the challenges? Should we ever have hitters use the challenge? Should we only have our catchers, no pitchers, only after the 5th inning, only with runners on base, only in 2 strike counts, maybe 3 ball counts? Super cool on how each team is going to use it to their advantage, because some teams obviously go further into analytics. Some teams have different ideologies, whether it's for pitching, whether it's for hitting, but every single organization is going to do it a bit different, maybe give freedom to some players, but that's why I absolutely love it. And the stats are going to be so fun when it's all said and done. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? There we go. The ABS dashboard. It's only 54% for overturns this season. And you know why? Because 46% of batters, yes, batters are getting it wrong more than they are correct. Obviously, where you stand, where you think your zone is, maybe your zone was a little smaller before they gave exact heights. You just can't tell. The pitch is moving so much. It's actually calculated at the center of the plate, not the front of the plate. There are so many reasons why it's very tough as a batter. Maybe your emotions can get the best of you during that time. You just have that fast emotion. You got to call it in 2 seconds. But the fielders are 61% overturned, and mainly the catchers. Now, these are the pitches. And I don't know which color. It doesn't label. Oh my gosh, you can go on each one. I love Baseball Savant. Yeah, you can go on each one and see who it was. It was Real Muto. Yeah, overturn. Okay. So that color's the overturn call, right? That's a confirm or an overturn. And then the purple, I don't know the difference between the colors. It's not really giving me a good one. But anyways, here we go. Top performers. We can go by team. Again, organization versus organization. Batting teams, the Cincinnati Reds are 6-0. Remember, a lot of that was on the Buckner on the game on Saturday, where also Alex Cora got ejected. A lot of crazy stuff going on. Do you think there should be ABS for check swings? Because I think so too. The check swing is so subjective in baseball, and you give it down to the first base, you give it down to the third base, and you get a bad call. All the bad calls I see in baseball seem to be on the check swing. Did he go or not? What's your definition? They should get some sort of ABS system for that. Anyways, the fielding teams, Kansas City Royals, a lot because of Salvi Perez. Salvi Perez did 3 in 1 game. Matter of fact, I think he did 3 in 1 inning. I didn't have the highlight for it, but when you know the zone, when you're a veteran, you've been doing this forever, you're one of the most respected catchers in the game. You just have leeway, man. And you know the bottom of the zone too. You have the bottom of the zone. Call that every single time. I love that. Kansas City 4-0. Now it's going to be fun to see the teams that, one, don't challenge a lot. At least the New York Mets. So the New York Mets only have 1 batting challenge. They're 0 for 1. Also 2 for fielding. So the Mets just not challenging enough. Maybe it's not someone who has been put in that position, or maybe it's, hey, we're not going to take the risk. We're going to wait to those later innings to see if we need them. If we don't need them, we're not going to use them. But the Mets at the very bottom, yeah, look at those win percentage, 0-0-0. Oh my gosh, the Guardians hitting 0 for 4 in that series versus the Mariners. That stands out. That's a little bit of an anomaly. Again, Pittsburgh Pirates, on the most successful overturns on the fielding teams, 0 for 1. Yeah, 0%. But this is where it gets fun. You can go directly to players on this. Gino, man. Gino's 2-0. And he had they have a little -2K flip. I like that. So you could see if it goes from strikeout to not, walk or not, if you go to most successful fielders over here. So Salvi didn't have a walk flip because he didn't do that, I guess, on 3 balls. He didn't do it on a 3-1, 3-2, 3-0 count. Let's see where we're getting value out of that. Yeah, there are a couple catchers like Francisco Alvarez who has one. Will Smith. Yeah, Will Smith. Oh my gosh. Will Smith has challenged a lot. He's actually challenged the most on this list, but he has 3 that he's lost, but he did flip a walk, so he's at 40%. Interesting to see that. Let's go back over to the batters. My brain is working fast right now. Elliot Ramos, 2-0, 2-1. So Roman Anthony has challenged the most times, man. 67% percentage, but it's going to be fun by the end of the season. Like I said, these stats are fun to look at, and you could probably even get more advanced than me. Again, I'm not an analytics YouTuber. I'm not one of those smart guys. I'm not your foolish baseball or your foolish Bailey. Goddamn, I'm stuttering so much today, guys, because I don't know if you could tell I had so much caffeine. I had so much caffeine at one time. Normally, I sip my coffee. I literally don't know why I was doing the research for this video, and I chugged it, and I am spazzing so much that I can't speak straight, but don't worry, I don't have a chronic stutter. Anyways, I'm not a foolish Bailey or a Willytic, so I'm not going to give you the full analytics, but this is just an overall lens and an overall scope of it. But the ABS has been so fun. Again, I wanted baseball to be perfect. I just said, why not get the call right every time? But you know what, y'all? We're all human. We're not perfect. AI is taking our jobs. It's taken over content creation. We're not having this face-to-face anymore. We're talking to Chat GPT for our therapy. Why not have baseball? Why not baseball keep a little bit of imperfection? Because that's life and that's human. So I've actually switched up. The ABS has been so fun to watch. I love that they have the little challenge thing on the screen on the score bug. It's literally like football or basketball where you look on the screen and you see the team's timeouts. How awesome is that? You see the 2 little challenge. You're in the 9th inning. Oh, the Mariners have one challenge or the Blue Jays have one challenge. I have been loving it. The butterfly effect, baseball, the best sport there is. How could you not be smiling on a day like this? And we have ABS. So the real question though, what do you guys think of ABS? Okay. I would like to hear a difference of opinion because I'm a yay, I'm a rah guy. I'm a very positive guy, half glass full on basically everything. So when there's something new, I'm going to be like, oh, that was great. That was so cool. But maybe you guys don't like ABS. Maybe you think there should be more challenges. Maybe you think some umpires should be banned from the sport. Who knows? Anyways, I'm just going to take this video and post it. Okay, we're going to go. All right, peace.